What is good, YouTube? It's your boy Ace of Hearts, and today I wanted to talk about the Atlanta Hawks. And I know before the season that a lot of people had projections that they were going to make the playoffs, and now that they've played a couple games during the season, I thought we should just evaluate how they've been doing this season. So yeah, let's go ahead and get into it. First topic of interest is Trae Young and John Collins. This is one of the younger duos in the league, point guard and big men duos. I just wanted to talk about them because they are one of the most prolific in the league and in the Eastern Conference. Trae Young is averaging 28.6 points per game and 9.1 assists per game on 44.1 field goals on his field goal percentage, and 33% from three and 87% from the free throw line, which is actually really good for a point guard his size. He's only 6'1", as we all know. He needs to improve on his defense, but on the offensive side of the ball, he is spectacular, one of the best in the league. Then John Collins, on the other hand, is averaging 17 points a game, 7 rebounds, a block. And he's shooting 54% from the field, 32% from three, as well as 91% from the free throw line. And it's actually telling to how great this duo is because, as you can see below, they averaged more in their respective categories last season, with Trae Young averaging 30 basically and 9 assists a game on 43% shooting from the field and 36% from three and 86% from the free throw line, and John Collins averaging 20 and 10 with a block and a half on 58% shooting from the field and 40% from three, 80% from the free throw line, which is really good for a forward. So yeah, I think that core can lead that team to a very promising future. I believe they're only 22 and 23 respectively. So the future's bright for them, man. As long as Lloyd Pierce and I can't remember the general manager in Atlanta, but as long as Lloyd Pierce and the general manager in Atlanta can keep them happy, I feel like that will propel them to possibly a championship one day. So yeah, next topic of interest is the Hawks' illustrious supporting cast. If you don't know, the Hawks are like absolutely loaded, and it's not just from their offseason. They've been doing really well in the draft and picking up some players from the G League as well. And I just wanted to talk about that a little bit. So Kevin Hunter, he was just drafted 2 seasons ago. I believe he was the 4th pick to the Lakers, and then he was traded to Atlanta. He's averaging 16 a game, 7 rebounds, 53% from the field, 48% from three, and 75% from the free throw line. He's also a really good defender, even though his blocks and his steals don't show that. But he is a very good perimeter defender. At 6'7", that's the perfect height in today's NBA, actually, and he's one of the best young perimeter defenders that we have in the NBA. Kevin Huerter, what do they call him? The Red Mamba, I believe that's what they call him, Red Mamba. He's averaging 11 a game, 3 rebounds, 3 assists, 1.4 steals on 45% field goals, 41% from three, and 86% from the free throw line. This guy is 6'7" and has an absolute heater. And he plays really good defense as well. He's good at just containing people on a given night. Sometimes he's a little inconsistent in his overall game, but that's what you expect from young players. I believe he's only 22 or 23. He might be 24, but 6'7" and shooting 41% from three is what any team wants in today's league. So yeah. Next we got Cam Reddish. Cam Reddish was the 10th pick in the 2019 NBA draft. I can't remember if he was traded from his pick or if the Hawks picked him up straight up. I think the Hawks picked him up straight up. And Cam Reddish is probably the most raw player on the squad. He's averaging almost 11 points a game, 4 rebounds, a steal, shooting 38% from the field, 37% from three, 79% from the free throw line. Like I said, he's a raw forward. If he were to hit his potential, he would be the best player out of this list. I don't think he would be the best player on the team, but I do feel like he would be the best player on this list. Really good 3-point shooter, really good defender as well when he tries. like I said, he's raw, so he's a little inconsistent. That's normally how it is with raw players. And he's I think this is the first time in his basketball career where he's had to share the ball with multiple players of this caliber. Because at Duke he had to. Well, I mean, at Duke he had to share with Zion and RJ, but not on the level, not on the level like this. He's not really getting that many touches. But if he continues to develop, I feel like he will be able to slide into that third option behind Trae Young and John Collins. So yeah, that's Cam Reddish for y'all. Clint Capella is a very good center. He's a mix of a traditional center and a modern center. The only reason why I wouldn't lean towards the modern center is because he can't shoot, but I say modern because he can move his feet really well. As we all know, he's a very good lateral center for his size at 7 feet, but he's averaging almost 11 points per game, 12 rebounds, a block on 61% shooting from the field. Clint Capella is one of the best rebounders in our league, and I feel like they might move him because they just got Onyeka Okongwu, and Clint Capella is still pretty young and he's still very valuable, so I think that he might get moved for a couple more pieces, maybe a better backup point guard, even though they have Rondo. I still think that they might trade him, but we'll see. And then we have one of the offseason pickups in Bogdan Bogdanovic from the Kings. He's averaging 12 points per game, 4 rebounds, 3 assists, or 2.3 assists on 40% from the field and 40% from 3, 90% from the free throw line. They might move him too, honestly. But I mean, he's young, so he fits in with the core. But yeah, he's an efficient, low volume scorer. Very good on that roster. For that roster, any team can use extra scoring, and this team is very good at that. And Danilo Gallinari also. I don't have him on the graphic here, but yeah, Danilo Gallinari is a veteran. He can score as well. He's just very injury prone. He's not that durable as he's getting older in his career. So yeah, that's the Hawks supporting cast. It's very promising. If they can grow together, I think that they can make one of the best starting lineups, if not the best one in the league. It has a lot of potential. Everyone's just really raw and young and experienced. So yeah, that's their supporting cast. Next, I wanted to talk about the Hawks team stats and what they're best at, what they're top 10 in, top 5 in, or top 10 in, just top 10 in. So yeah, let's get into that. The Hawks are top 10 in offensive rating, net rating, rebound percentage, 3-pointers made, opponent field goal percentage, offensive rebounds in general, and opponent 3-point percentage, and opponent fast break points. Now, what this tells me is that they are one of the best rebounding teams. The rebound percentage is 6th. They're 5th in offensive rebounds per game, 3rd in rebounds per game. They're 8th in net rating, 6th in opponent field goal percentage, which is really high. I wasn't expecting that. 2nd in opponent 3-point percentage, which is pretty good. I guess that just speaks to their large forwards that can play really good defense and get out on the perimeter. Now I wanted to talk about their pros and cons, and then we'll wrap up the video. The Hawks, for their pros, the Hawks have an efficient offense, they're a great 3-point shooting team, great at rebounding all around, and they're great at perimeter defense. But on the other hand, they lack consistency. They have this problem where random players will lead the way. Like sometimes you would expect Trae Young and John Collins to lead the way, but sometimes it might be Cam Reddish, sometimes it might be DeAndre Hunter. You never really know what's going to happen with that team, which I can see as a problem. I feel like each team needs a set 1-2 punch that is always going to lead the way, just so that it I feel like it correlates to better game planning along the fly. So yeah, they're also inexperienced. No one on that team And any of those graphics that I showed have made the playoffs. None of their best players have been in the playoffs. They have Rondo and Gallinari for a little bit of pedigree, but I still think that their inexperience could be a problem in the future. Last con that I wanted to mention is that they have a lot of raw talent. Like I said with Cam Reddish, he's probably the most raw on the list. The only raw talent isn't a bad thing, but a lot of it could translate to failed projects. And what I mean by that is a lot of players who have raw talent seem to not fit in with the NBA very well. Perfect example is Tyreek Evans, OJ Mayo, Jamario Moon. Those were all very raw players. Michael Beasley, Derek Williams. Those were all raw players who came into the league. Andrew Wiggins, even though he's decent, those were all raw players coming into the league, but they could never just hit that next level for whatever reason. So that's the only risk you have with having raw talent, and those are really the only cons that I see with this team. They just need to play a lot more together, and in the future they will be able to make noise in the NBA. I feel like Atlanta's a great market as well for them to grow in. Lloyd Pierce is still a very young, promising coach. The future's bright for them. And it's been your boy Ace of Hearts, and peace.